Hi Leo, welcome to your August 2020 General Tarot reading. It's Rena here, and happy birthday to all of you. Even those of you born in July. You're going to have a new moon in August, on August 18th at 26 degrees of Leo. So if you're born in the last days of the sign, 27 to 29 degrees, so I don't know, August 19th to 22nd, whenever, it's going to depend on the year. This is going to actually be in your 12th house, and you're going to look to the new moon in Virgo to be a first house, kind of like a new beginnings type of an area. And that will be more of a spiritual kind of influence, new influence in your life. For the rest of you, the vast majority of you, this is in the first house and the new cycle of manifestation for you. So that would be great. Okay. So the heart of the matter is the Ace of Wands. What a perfect card for a Leo, this fiery new beginnings, this sense of like chomping at the bit to, have new experiences and maybe start a new project that has a very individual stamp. For you being a fire sign, this is like a great card. And perhaps, Leo, you felt a bit stymied, like you couldn't do something, and now you're just like feeling more freedom to be able to do what you need to do. With the Leo energy prevalent right now, this can definitely be a welcome change. For those of you who have birthdays in August, you've had the sun in the 12th house, and now it's like, now I can begin really feel this sense of momentum. And I think that's what the Ace of Wands, it's about forward moving, new, fresh energy. In the past position, we have the Five of Swords, and you see there's people in the background. This can be a card of slander, of just deception in general. Maybe this is connected to a workplace where you were getting the runaround, or there was some kind of negative energy in the workplace with other people who are not who they seem to be. And so with the Ace of Wands, there is like to me, it's a very Aries type of a feeling of independence, which means autonomy, which means that you get to call the shots instead of having to either play nice with others, which like they used to say, are you a team player, when you apply for a job. And I'm a Sagittarian, so I'm a fellow fire sign like you, Leo. And that always like rubbed me the wrong way, because to me that's like groupthink. Do you just like, that's like, no, I'm an individual. That doesn't mean that I'm a bad person, I'm a jerk, or I'm uncooperative, but I'm really like kind of an individualist. And so a Leo person is the same way, is that you have your own vision, and it doesn't mean that you're going to put down other people's ideas, but you don't really want to have to compromise on those things, and you don't have to anymore. It sounds like you are realizing that you have the ability to forge your own path, and it feels very exciting. And the other thing too about Leo is that you're very positive, and with this Five of Swords, it's like a lot of times this gossip, these people who aren't self-actualized, who aren't really going after their dreams. And what do people tend to do when they're not doing that? They tend to get into mischief, and that includes envying other people, trying to take them down, and they do that through the swords. The sword is the tongue is a sword, through speech that is destructive, whether it's true or not. I worked with somebody, and she was like, English wasn't her first language, and I remember she said to me, and this isn't gossiping, it's the truth. She thought that she confused gossip with slander. Slander is spreading lies about people, but gossip, you could be telling 100% the truth, but it's still telling somebody else's business. And the thing is that, so she thought that she had a pass because she was talking about the truth. But the thing is that besides the fact that it's not very nice, it's not generating positive energy. I was going to say it's not getting you where you want to be. But for some people, maybe they do get ahead by tearing down other people. Maybe that works like a charm. But they're not building their house on solid foundation. They're doing so in a very negative way. So a balanced Leo person is not going to want to be a part of that scene whatsoever. So what that does is it pushes you into wanting to do something for yourself. And maybe if you've had, if you were part of the lockdown situation, and maybe you were furloughed or had to work from home, you realized, like if you've been now going back to work, you've realized how toxic it was. I was wondering about that, if a lot of people would have this come to Jesus moment where they would say, wow, I never really understood how negatively that this was impacting me at a subtle level. The higher message, maybe this is like advice from a spiritual perspective, the Four of Swords, which is about retreat, clearing your head, kind of getting away, maybe unplugging from electronics, and all kinds of things that are used to communicate, cell phones, all that stuff, to try to, decide how you're going to proceed. If the Five of Swords is related to an ex who is spreading lies about you, smearing you to your friend, to your mutual friends or whatever, the Four of Swords might be like you getting off of Facebook and all that stuff, and just for a while, and just laying low and kind of keeping your own counsel, doing a lot of meditation and thoughts about where you want to go, because there's a very independent energy with the Ace of Wands, and it's almost like taking your life back in certain cases. Yeah, I didn't even, when I put out these cards, I don't even think in terms of the individual cards. I wasn't even seeing this card. This is the challenge card. This is the King of Wands. This may be that person. Maybe they're a narcissist. I have this in the challenge position. Now, I don't know if this is connected specifically to Sagittarius, but I know the Queen of Wands is. And I always connect it to Leo, because I always think of Leo as royalty. And so whatever the other fire sign is Aries, but the energy around the King of Wands is kind of like this larger than life personality who is very charismatic and very self-empowered. They don't need anybody to give them permission to do what they want to do, because they feel like, hey, I have the right to do what I want to do. And the point of all of this is to say the King of Wands in the challenge position might be somebody who's out of control, like a bully, somebody who is controlling. And that's why they are controlling, because they feel out of control. They don't feel like they have power in their life, so they're trying to gain it through somebody else. Now, typically, this will be either a boss who's like kind of a, narcissistic individual. When I see kings and queens, I often think of narcissists too. But it can be a parent who is very controlling. Anybody who is in a position of authority. Do I think this is you because it is one of the wands? Not really, not based on the other cards. I think this is more likely somebody who you are either working for, or this may be your ex. And what you have to understand is that this person doesn't want you to be independent. So that's why they are trying to turn other people against you. And the bottom line is that you can't control what they do, but you can control how you respond to it. And they may pull out the stops. These people aren't stupid. They can be very annoying and even destructive, but they're not stupid usually. And so you have to be smarter than them, and that means that you don't fall for some of their ploys. Sometimes they may act like they have seen the light, that they realize that they need therapy or whatever, and that they're going to do it, and the other person thinks, wow, this is what I've dreamed of, this is what I've always wanted, and they think that it's going to mean that the person's going to get better. Now, I'm not going to say that nobody can ever get better. There might be people that are sincere and they really mean it, and I believe in giving people a chance. But that doesn't mean if somebody has left you, for instance, and they live somewhere else, that you have to move in with them again. Let's, see how they are. See them over a period of time. But again, if you're the type of person who is very, I think fire is very impatient, you may not realize that you have to be cautious about jumping into something with this person, because Ace of Wands, wants to start something new, but that's when these types of people come back into the picture, when they know that you've moved on. What's coming in is the Two of Swords. This can be like at the horns of a dilemma. You don't know what to do. Again, if you are thinking about getting back with somebody, or if you haven't, if this is about a job situation and you haven't really left the job, but you can feel the bad energy of the Five of Swords, then you have to really decide what is important to you. If you have inner planets in either Virgo or Cancer, because these are the two signs that are you're sandwiched in between, these may be more cautious and more likely to want that financial security. So let's say you have your Mercury in Cancer. You may be a worrywart, even though you're a Leo, and you tend to be very confident in some ways. You might be a little bit, and same with Mercury in Virgo, about tending to doubt yourself, second guess yourself, and even not be sure about whether you have what it takes. Even though there's a part of you that is very warm and all of that stuff, it still can show up as being a little bit self-critical. And so that may kind of keep you playing small and being, in a familiar situation, but the fire energy wants to expand. It wants to grow. It just loves growth. And the outcome supports that. This is the Knight of Wands. I think this is actually connected to Sag, but other than that, I would just say that it is a card of a lot of opportunities. Well, I would say especially this feeling of like being a bit of a daredevil, where you're willing to. I think of this as Aries, actually. That's what I like, where it's like you're taking a risk, where you're, and if you're not like taking an overt risk, you have more of the carefree attitude, like whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to second guess myself. I'm just going to go with the flow. But this is more like the Ace of Wands, where you're making things happen. If you have come out of a prior relationship, you may be playing the field. You may be enjoying your freedom. Wands is connected to freedom as well. So that you're not just kind of like, in other words, I see you, if this King of Wands in reverse is coming into your life, I feel you are not going to let them come in. You're going to kind of keep them at bay, and you're going to do your own thing. So good for you. I hope that that resonated, and happy birthday again. If you would like a personal reading, Leo, and this can include like a natal chart interpretation for your next solar year, you know, I mean, well, it's based on your natal sign, obviously, but it's your rising sign is the beginning of your chart. But if you're interested in seeing the astrological trends of the new year, or having your chart analyzed too, I have that type of reading. I have a special, which is called the Whole Enchilada, which combines a full-length tarot reading and a full-length natal chart interpretation plus transits, a special price. Check me out at rainamoonastrology.com. The link is below. Take care. Bye.